Is this thing on? It is. All right. Welcome back to the Bandwagon Sports Show. I'm your host, DaRock, and we are back with another staple here on the channel, Layup Lines, the college basketball betting preview show. A little bit, maybe different format this year because, like I said, if you watched my video a couple days ago last week, I said my goal in 2025 is to just kind of go back to watching more sports where I'm just watching it because I love the game, because I enjoy the game, rather than gambling on it. So I encourage you guys to do the same. So while it may take a hit in views because I'm not labeling this a best bets video, it can't get much worse than Monday's video. Only had like 3 or 4 views, but that's okay. I don't do this for the numbers. I do this because I love doing it. So I appreciate all you guys watching, and if you like talking ball, especially, we're going to do this every Tuesday here now that college basketball conference plays in full swing. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Let me know, do you like that? Do you want me to do just kind of my picks for the game, or should I do bets? And also another thing I'm thinking about doing some sort of pick 'em pool so you guys can pick up against me. Granted, right now I haven't really been able to find any website that does college basketball pick 'em, so it'd kind of have to be something that I ran on my own, like a Google form or a Google sheet, something like that. So if you guys would be interested in that, let me know. All right, let's get into the video. Cue the drum line. All right, so getting into it, one other thing I forgot to mention in the intro. I'm going to be live on my Twitch channel. The link to it is in every video on these Tuesday nights, watching these games, so you can watch them along with me. Might bust out the old NCAA basketball game, play some of that, and then do my picks for Wednesday's games as well. So they're gonna be a lot of fun on those live streams. Gonna shoot to do it start around 9 Eastern. So for the second slate of games, would love to do it for the first slate, but just with work, getting home, eating dinner, working out, just not really realistic. So shoot to do it, aiming starting around 9 Eastern every Tuesday. So first, we have the game of the night. Got to start here. We're going to start in the SEC. It's the best conference in basketball, like I mentioned on yesterday's video. We have the number 1 ranked team in the country, the last undefeated team, the Tennessee Volunteers, 14-0. They head to now the number 8 Florida Gators. Florida was undefeated until their 106-100 loss at Kentucky on Saturday. So this is going to be a really fun guard matchup, as the two teams are led by Chaz Lanier scoring 20 points a game for Tennessee, and then Walter Clayton with 18 points a game. I mean, these are two high-scoring teams. Florida scores on average 88 points a game. Tennessee scores 79. I think a lot of these SEC games, they're going to be played at a really high pace, get up and down the floor. So it's gonna be a good guard match. It's going to be kind of like on Saturday, just kind of who controls the game, who hits their shots, who can, maybe play a little bit of defense. Bigs wise, these teams are also very talented. There, Igor Milicic Jr. leads Tennessee, and then Alex Condon for Florida. So there's gonna be good matchups all over the floor. I mean, this is by far the game of the night. Definitely the one to tune in. If you only watch one college basketball game tonight, which if that's what you're doing, I feel sad for you. But if there's one to watch, this is it. So like I did for the Thanksgiving tournaments, when I previewed those, I'm going to do a couple sites here that have projections that I've been, checking out now that I'm more involved here in college basketball Twitter. I found that I've really liked. And I am eventually I think my plan is to track these, projections, see how they do. So the first site, Haslametrics, they actually have Florida winning this game by a score of 72-71. So they think it's going to be a close game. Definitely a little bit lower scoring than Saturday for Florida, but, still up there. And then Warren Nolan, the other site that I like that does final scores, they have Tennessee winning 76-74. So both these sites think it's going to be a really close game. I have to agree with them. Would it be cool to see Florida pull? When you beat the number 1 team in the country, it's still an upset. I don't care if it's a top 10 matchup. It's still an upset. I think it would be cool, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going with Tennessee in this one. They're my pick. They actually are the underdogs on the betting lines. I'm not going to reference them, but you can see them up there in the corner. So, or I'm not going to say them directly. I guess I just reference them. But I'm going to go with the Volunteers win this one. I mean, I'm a big believer, if you've been watching this channel, I'm not the guy who tries to be right first. I'm the guy who, I'm not, if a team's winning, I'm not going to pick against them. So that's what I'm doing, Tennessee. So give me the Volunteers to win this one. Then sticking in the SEC, the next game we have those aforementioned Kentucky Wildcats, now ranked 6th in the country, 12-2 on the year. They head to the Georgia Bulldogs, who are also 12-2 after they suffered a loss to Ole Miss on Saturday. This game's also at 7 Eastern. This one's on the SEC Network, so I'm gonna have to pull up some sort of bootleg stream for this one because, like I mentioned yesterday, somehow don't get SEC Network. I literally have like the best sports package, but don't get the SEC Network. So be it. The Wildcats, scoring-wise, are led by Omar Owe with nearly 16 points a game, and then Asa Newell with 15 points a game for the Bulldogs. Rebounding-wise, Newell, he's also the leader for the Bulldogs, and then Amari Williams is the leader for the Wildcats. And then Lamont Butler leads Kentucky in assists, and then Lawrence is the leader for Georgia. So Kentucky, I kind of talked about it on Monday's video. I keep referencing that. Check it out if you haven't. I put a lot of time into it. I thought it was a good video, but so be it. They have a very balanced attack, and it's going to be key to see, can Georgia kind of shut some of those guys down, make them a one-trick pony, and, I don't know if they have the capability. So looking at it scoring-wise, Kentucky's averaging 90 points a game. Georgia's only averaging 80. But Georgia's only allowing 64 while Kentucky's allowing 73. So Georgia, they definitely, like I said, want to try to shut some of these scores down. Make this a lower scoring game, make it a more defensive game. Kentucky, they're going to want to run, they're going to play at high pace, score the ball. So it's going to be, not a complete contrast of styles, but definitely like a higher scoring game I think favors Kentucky, where a more defensive game favors Georgia. So both sites, Haslametrics has Kentucky winning 78-77, so they have a 1-point game there again. And then Warren Nolan has Kentucky winning 78-73. So this was one, I was on the fence. This is another one, it's like road team or high-ranked team going on the road. Definitely upset potential. It'll be cool to happen. And at first, I'm in a pick'em pool run by NKY Bracketology on Twitter. Definitely check him out. It's a very good follow for college basketball. And at first I put down Georgia. But then I came to my senses, and I think, I've just watched more of this Kentucky team. I've liked what I've seen from this Kentucky team. So I'm going to go with the Wildcats this one, just kind of another, while they have lost twice, another team, just I'm not going to pick against them until they lose. So in conference play, being 1-0, give me Kentucky. Then moving on to the later slate. Oh, I forgot to scroll this one back up. We have the second-ranked team in the country, the 13-1 Auburn Tigers, heading to the 11-3 Texas Longhorns. This one will be at 9 Eastern Time on ESPN2. So Auburn, honestly, eye test-wise, best team in the country for me. They're led by Janai Broome. I think he's going to be player of the year. I mean, you can look there. He leads them in every category. 18 points a game, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. On the Texas side, their leading scorer is Trey Johnson, 19 points a game, so he can also fill the bucket. Then they have Kumala as their leading rebounder and Larry as their leading assist getter. These two teams are a little bit more balanced scoring-wise, or like closer in deficit. Auburn, 88 points a game, Texas 82, and then Auburn allows 65, and Texas allows 63. So Auburn, they had a nice win, kind of won pretty handily here. We can scroll down, I can show these. Against Texas or against Missouri on Saturday, 84-68, cruised pretty easily. I did mention that briefly in the video. And then Texas, while they were tied at halftime with A&M, fell apart in the second half, got blown out, ended up losing by 20. And they don't have an easier schedule here. And this is gonna be probably even more challenging test than Texas A&M. Granted, Texas A&M is a top 10 team in the country right now, but like I said, I think Auburn currently is the number one team. So Auburn on Haslametrics projected to win 85-67. On Warren Nolan has a lot closer game, 75-70. I think since this game is in Austin, I do think it'll be closer. Texas did have to go on the road for that A&M loss, and Auburn, while big blowout, that was a home win, and their only loss this year did come on the road in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Granted, that's the toughest place to play in the country, and Duke's top 5 team in the country. So I do think it's to be closer. The 9-point spread that it is, it seems a little large for me. Here I am mentioning gambling. I said I wasn't going to, but so I'd probably stay away from that. Granted, I'm staying away altogether because I'm not gambling on any of these games today. But I'm gonna go Auburn and win this one. I would say close. Probably I could see this being like a 6-7 point game. So I think Auburn wins, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout by any means. Then next, oh whoops, I didn't go back. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm messing this up. I'm messing up There we go. The final SEC game we're going to talk about, we have the 14th ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs, 13-1 as well, heading to the 13-1 Vanderbilt Commodores. This one's going to be at 9 Eastern time on ESPNU, so a lot of SEC games on TV. These are going to be fun to watch. Definitely recommend tuning in. Like I said, definitely tune in to Tennessee, Florida, but I'd stick around, 8 Eastern or 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Come watch some of these games with me because that's what I'm going to be tuning into. So Mississippi State, they're led by Josh Hubbard. He's one of my favorite players to watch. I had a lot of fun watching him last year. I haven't watched as much Mississippi State this year, but that dude's a bucket. Definitely can score it. And then Vanderbilt, they're led by Trey Johnson. He's their leading scorer with 18 points a game. So both these guys scoring around 18 points. Mississippi State, they score 84 points a game on average while allowing 66. And then Vanderbilt scores 86 points per game while allowing 66 as well. Mississippi State, they had that big blowout win over South Carolina, just absolutely routing them at home to start their conference schedule. And then Vanderbilt went on the road, picked a nice win over LSU. So, Vanderbilt, they're a team kind of on the bubble right now. I believe they're in the tournament, according to Joe Lunardi's latest projections that came out on Friday. I believe he'll be dropping some new ones Tuesday morning, so when this video comes out, but not quite out yet here as of my recording. So this could be a chance to get a statement win. Could be a big win for the Commodores so they could pull it out. Similar styles, like I said, a lot of the SEC games is going to be high-scoring, fast-paced games. So, especially as a casual fan, I think these would be fun to watch regardless. So Haslam Metrics has Mississippi State projected to win by 81-80. He's seen a lot of close games, except for Auburn. He thought Auburn would blow him out. And then Warren Nolan has Mississippi State winning 73-68. I've been really impressed with this Mississippi State team so far. Like I said, I haven't watched a bunch of them, but checking highlights, reading Twitter, looking at box scores, seems like they're playing some really good ball. And like I said, Josh Hubbard's a lot of fun. I really like him, so I'm gonna go Mississippi State to win this one for sure. I don't know why I say for sure. Nothing's for sure in college basketball. It's the beauty of college basketball, but I think Mississippi State is gonna be my pick in this one. I'm gonna have them winning, probably by 3-4 points. So give me the Bulldogs. Now we move on to the ACC. This is the main game on ESPN. I believe it's the only game on ESPN tomorrow. I don't know what's going on in the late slate. But at 7 Eastern, the 12-2 Pitt Panthers, who are 3-0 in the ACC, go to the 4th-ranked team in the country, the Duke Blue Devils, who are 12-2, 4-0 in conference as well. So two teams that are undefeated in conference play. Like I mentioned on Monday's video, this probably going to be one of Duke's toughest remaining ACC games. The ACC, not the toughest conference this year. Definitely very, very top-heavy with teams like Duke. I think Duke is kind of head and shoulders above the rest of the conference. If this game was, in Pittsburgh, I'd maybe, could see it being a little bit closer. But we'll get to my pick in a sec. Also, last time these two teams played in Cameron, Pitt did win. They went to Cameron, won the game. Tough thing to do. So there's definitely kind of a revenge factor for this Duke Blue Devil team. So Duke, they're led by Cooper Flagg. He's the best freshman in the nation. Going to be number 1 pick in the draft. 17 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. Pitt, they're led by Ishmael Leggett. He's scoring 17 or nearly 18 points a game with 6 rebounds as well. Pitt, they're a little bit higher scoring. They score 84 points a game to Duke's 80. However, they allow more points. They've been allowing 68 points a game to Duke's 59. So Pitt, they also won their conference opener, 3-0 in conference. As you can see, kind of all those wins are there. Win on the road at Va Tech, so that's a tough place to play, and then hosted both Cal and Stanford, the Pacific Coast schools that are now in the West Coast Conference. A lot of fun with that. So they are 3-0. Duke, they have wins over Georgia Tech, Va Tech, and then at SMU. And as you can see, none of them were close games. Scoring 80-plus points in all of them, allowing 65 to Va Tech was the most they allowed. Every other game, they've just been rolling. And honestly, this Duke team, they're 2 shots away, two possessions away from being undefeated on the year. They blew the Kentucky game, they blew the Kansas game where they just didn't have good final possessions, and that's what cost them in the end. I think this Duke team's hungry. I think they're the better team. Haslam Metrics has them winning 76-62. Warren Nolan has them winning 78-64. I think they're going to keep rolling. I think this is going to be a double-digit win for the Blue Devils, so give me Duke to win this one, kind of handily. Then moving on to our next ACC game, we have the 12-3 Clemson Tigers, who are 4-0 in conference, heading to the 10-5 Louisville Cardinals, who are 3-1 in conference. This game's at 7 Eastern Time on ESPNU. So Clemson, they're led by Chase Hunter with 17 points per game, and then on the boards, Ian Shefflin, 10 points per game. The Chef, he's a lot of fun to watch. He's been a really solid player for them. He's been there for a while now. Louisville, they're led by the Wisconsin transfer Chucky Hepburn. He's scoring 15 points per game, and then also has five assists a game for them. Both these teams scoring pretty similar. Clemson 78, nearly 79 points per game, and then Louisville 77, nearly 78 points a game, while Clemson only allows 66 and Louisville allows 70. So looking here in conference, Louisville, like I said, 3-1 to start. I forget who their loss was, but wins against Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida State. So 20-point win. That's pretty big, especially like Louisville, especially in the Tony Bennett era. Granted, now he's gone at Virginia, but Louisville just always struggled with Virginia, but finally able to pick up a win. Clemson, after losing 2 close games there to South Carolina and Memphis to wrap up non-conference play, who are both, not South Carolina, but Memphis, very good team. South Carolina is good. Like I said, I think they'd be a top team in the ACC, but with how deep the SEC is, they're going to struggle a little bit. But then wins over Wake, and then they also hosted the Pacific Coast teams this weekend with wins over Stanford and Cal. So, Haslametrics, he has it Louisville 70-69. Warren Nolan has Clemson 73-71. This pains me because I'm meaning to get him back on the show. I don't know if he's been listening, but if he has, I appreciate it. My Big East expert, Ian Hasek, Clemson grad. He grew up Marquette fan, but went to Clemson. Always a Clemson football fan. So he supports Tiger basketball as well. I think the Tigers fall. I'm going Louisville. I'm going with, I guess it's not an upset. I guess they're favored, but this is one where I finally think the home court, it makes a difference. Pat Kelsey came over from Charleston's now the coach at Louisville. There's videos of him before the Tennessee game. Granted, they got routed, but hyping up, everyone come to the game. I think he's gonna try to get a lot of students in the seats again, make it a loud, tough place to play, and I think that could potentially get to the Tigers. So I'm going to go with Louisville to win this one. Oh, wait, I messed up. I think I said Clemson's loss in conference. Clemson's undefeated in conference, but I think no more after today. I think Louisville knocks them off, gets the win. Then the final ACC game we're going to preview, we have the SMU Mustangs, newcomers of the conference, 11-3 on the year, 2-1 in conference play, heading to the Dean Dome, taking on North Carolina Tar Heels, who are 9-6, 2-1 in conference. This game's at 9 Eastern Time on the ACC Network. So SMU, they're led by Boopy Miller. He's scoring 15 points per game with nearly 6 assists. And then on the UNC side, they're led by R.J. Davis. He's been there for a little bit now, 17 points per game for him. Washington with their leader on the boards with 5 rebounds per game. And then Elliot Cadeau, who had the big shot against Notre Dame on Saturday. He's their leader in assists with 6.1 points per game. Not mention this, Ian Jackson, he's really a good player for North Carolina too. He's kind of been their breakout player this year. So he's one of their leaders as well, even though he's not a statistical leader. Both these two teams score the ball pretty similar. SMU 85 points per game, UNC 84. SMU allows 72 points per game, and UNC allows 79. So looking at their last couple games, SMU wins over Virginia and Boston College in conference, but lost to Duke, which I think a lot of teams are going to find a loss to Duke on their schedule in ACC play. And then North Carolina, like I mentioned, lost to Louisville, but did bounce back against Notre Dame. So big win, definitely needed that. I mean, to be 8-7 at this point of the year, getting into the thick of conference play, that would not have been good for the Tar Heels. So Haslametrics, they have UNC winning this one 86-82. They have a close game. Warner Nolan has UNC winning 80-70, so they have a bit of a blowout. This is one of those, newcomer to the conference, first time playing at the Dean Dome. I think it's going to be raucous. I think it's going to be a tough place to play for SMU. So Well, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be closer. I think this will be, a two possession game, 2-3 possession game down the stretch. Things will be close. I think in the end, that home court advantage is going to be the difference. So I'm going UNC to take this one. All right, so moving on now here to the Big East. These next couple of conferences, I'm going to try to go through a little bit quicker. My apologies if I'm kind of reading too many stats. Like I said, if anyone ever wants to hop on these shows with me, it's going to be a little bit more of a back and forth rather than me just reading off stats to you guys. I think, one, that would make it quicker and probably make it a little bit more entertaining, interesting, but it is what it is. So, first game of the day, this actually, be the first tip at 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern on FS1. The St. John's Red Storm, 12-3 on the year, head to the 9-6 Xavier Musketeers. St. John's led by R.J. Luis Jr. scoring 16 points a game, and then Zach Freemantle is the leader for the Musketeers with 16 points a game as well. St. John's, they score 81 points per game on average, where Xavier averages 79. Points against, St. John's 67, Xavier 69. So I'm looking at their schedules here. St. John's, they had a nice win against Butler over the weekend, but lost to Creighton. It's their lone conference loss, and then wins over Providence and DePaul. Xavier, on the other hand, lost to Georgetown. Georgetown, we're going to talk about them a little bit here. They're better this year. Win over Seton Hall, but then lost to Marquette and UConn, and then lost to their crosstown rival, Cincinnati, right before. So the team's definitely sliding a little bit. According to Haslam Metrics, they have St. John's winning 75-74. Warren Nolan has Xavier winning 75-74. So both these sites think to be 1-point games, so you could go either way. And I mean, the gambling guys do as well. I'm going to go with St. John's this one. While, a little bit scrappy win, not their best ball on Saturday, I think they just currently are playing better than Xavier at this moment. So give me the Red Storm, take this one. Next Big East game, we have those aforementioned Georgetown Hoyas, 12-2 this year. I believe they've already matched their win total from a year ago, including 3, or maybe it was Big East wins. Like they're 3-0 in conference, already 3 Big East wins. They head to the 7th-ranked team in the country, the Marquette Golden Eagles. This one's at 8 Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. The Hoyas are led by Thomas Sorber with 15 points per game, and then Malik Max, also a good guard for them. He has 4.8 assists per game. On the Marquette side, Cam Jones, just their leader. He's got 20 points per game, 6 assists. He's probably going to be a first-team All-American. Definitely one of the best players in the country. A lot of fun to watch. So Marquette, they score 80 points per game to Georgetown 75. However, they allow 66 points per game. Georgetown only allows 63. In conference, Marquette, 4-0, wins over Creighton, Providence, Xavier, Butler. Did lose their last non-conference game in Dayton, but tough place to play. Flyers a good team. Georgetown, like I mentioned, win over Xavier, win over Seton Hall, win over Creighton. So 3-0, great start to the Big East play for them, but I think that run kind of ends here as Haslametrics has Marquette winning 78-64. Warren Nolan has it 82-64. Marquette's a top 10 team in the country. They're going to show it tonight. I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop Cam Jones, so give me the Golden Eagles to take this one. Now moving over to the Big 12. So these Big 12 games, sadly, are all on ESPN+, but they're going to be good ones. So if you have ESPN+, definitely check it out. We have the 8-5 Arizona Wildcats, who are 2-0 in conference, heading to the 21st rank, cracking the rankings this week. West Virginia Mountaineers, who are 11-2, 2-0 in conference play. This one's going to be at 7 Eastern on ESPN+, like I mentioned. The Wildcats led by Caleb Love. He's back, the North Carolina transfer from a couple years ago. He averages 16 points per game. And then Jordan Small, 19 points per game for West Virginia. Arizona, they score 84 points per game to West Virginia 75, but allow 68 to West Virginia's 62. Arizona, they had a nice win on the road at Cincinnati this weekend, so they're staying out east, kind of doing the little back-to-back trip there. I kind of like that. That's smart, given how these conferences are, aligned now with just cross-country. So wins over Cincinnati, wins over TCU to start conference play. West Virginia, win over Oklahoma State, just rolled over the weekend. It was a good game early. I was watching that. It was on, and West Virginia just dominated from the moment it started. And then they also went into Allen Fieldhouse. I mean, this one probably went under the radar. It was on New Year's Day. I was at the Winter Classic. I didn't realize this till I think 2 days later, because I also was watching football games. West Virginia went on the road, beat Kansas. That is something very tough to do. So they're off to a great start to conference play. So Haslametrics, they have Arizona winning 70-67. Warren Nolan has Arizona winning 75-72. This is one I'm going against them. I'm going with the home team here. Granted, Arizona, they are staying out there, but still a cross-country trip. While they dominated Cincinnati, they let them back in the game, and I mean, it's tough to, win in Kansas, like I just said. So West Virginia, they're playing really good ball right now. I think that they keep it rolling, so give me the Mountaineers. Next Big 12 game, we have the 10-3 Cincinnati Bearcats heading to the 9-4 Baylor Bears. This one's also at 7, or no, the last one was at 6. 6 Central, 7 Eastern. This one's at 7 Eastern, oh my God, can't talk. 7 Central, 8 Eastern. I know I'm saying that backwards, but that's just how my mind works. I'm on Central Time. So both these teams, tough loss over the week. Like I just mentioned, Cincinnati lost to Arizona at home. Baylor, granted, Iowa State, top 5 team in the country, just got beat by them. So Baylor's led by Norchad Omier. He's putting up 15 points per game with 10 assists. Cincinnati's led by Seamus Lukosius with 13 points per game. And then Jizzle James, also really good guard for them, 5 assists a game for him. Baylor scores 84 points a game to Cincinnati 77. And then Baylor allows 68 points per game to Cincinnati 60. So looking at it, like I said, lost to Arizona, lost to Kansas State, start conference play for the Bearcats. For the Bears, lost to Iowa State, but win over Utah. Utah's probably going to finish towards the bottom of the Big 12. So, 9-4, Baylor definitely needs some wins. Needs to get this thing turned around a little bit. They're projected to win 67-65 on Haslametrics and then 75-66 on Warren Nolan. So maybe a close game. Could be one possession game. Could be a couple possession game. I'm gonna go Baylor to win this one. I would lean towards the closer game. Kind of looking to right the ship, coming home here. So give me the Bears. Then the final Big 12 game we're gonna touch on here. We have the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 10-3 on the year, heading to the BYU Cougars, also 10-3. These are kind of some teams fighting out for, I would say, probably like the second tier in the Big 12 behind, those Iowa States. I guess you still want to put Baylor up there. I mean, like Kansas. Yeah, no, Baylor's not up there. Iowa State, Kansas, Houston, kind of those teams. These are the teams probably, fighting, being that next tier with like the Baylors, the Arizonas, West Virginias. So, this is a win that both teams could use. Texas Tech, they score 86 points per game and allow 65. BYU, they score 82 and allow 65 as well. So Texas Tech 1-1 in conference play with a win over Utah, but lost to UCF. UCF's been kind of sneaky. I mean, they also took down Texas A&M in the season opener, so they've been beating some Texas schools. Texas A&M, I'll see there. They lost to A&M. BYU, they knock off Arizona State by nearly 20 at home, but then lose by 30 on the road at Houston over the weekend. Houston, like I just mentioned, very good team. So in this one, projections. Haslam has Texas Tech winning 77-75. Nolan has BYU winning 74-71. The Marriott Center, sneaky tough place to play. I think like if you follow basketball, college basketball, you know that, but for some maybe who don't follow it as closely, BYU actually does have a really good home environment, and I think that's what makes a difference in this one, so I'm going with the Cougars. Then wrapping it up, we got a Big Ten doubleheader on the cock. I think the Big Ten just, now they're so big, now they're the Big 18. I think they're just trying to play games every day because they had games Sunday, they had games Monday, which, I've never seen the Big Ten play on Mondays before. I'm used to them playing on Sundays. I'm used to them playing, Thursdays, They usually do spread it out more than other conferences. But yeah, we got 2 games Monday and now 2 games here again on Tuesday, both on Peacock. First one at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We have the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Nebraska ball. They're rolling 12-2 on the year, 2-1 in conference. They take on their biggest rival here in the Big Ten, the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are 10-4 on the year, 1-2 in conference play. Nebraska's led by Bryce Williams, who scores 18, almost 19 points per game. And then Freeman is the leading scorer for Iowa with 16 points per game. Iowa, they definitely score at a higher clip. They like to play a little bit faster paced. They score 89 points per game to Nebraska's 76. However, Iowa allows 77 points per game to Nebraska's 64. So like I mentioned, Nebraska, good start here. They get a win against UCLA at home. UCLA's ranked squad, so ranked win. Good start there. 2-1 in the conference overall. Iowa, on the other hand, they let Wisconsin just given to them. I mean, 116 points. That's crazy. That's crazy in Big Ten because the Big Ten does not play like fast-paced games like that. Granted, Wisconsin does. Wisconsin, they like get up and down the floor. They draw fouls. So Wisconsin, they shot the ball really well. So big win for the Badgers. So Iowa, they're reeling. Nebraska, they're rolling. Haslametrics says Iowa winning 77-74. Warren Nolan has them winning 76-75. Like I said, this is one of those where Nebraska's rolling, Iowa's not, but they're going on the road, playing their rival, and I'm gonna assume those two guys know something I don't. So while in my head, or I guess I don't really know if this is a head-heart pick, but like I would think Nebraska, but there's clearly some of these guys are picking up that I'm not. I mean, Carver Hawkeye, tough place to play as well. So you know what? Screw it. Give me the Hawkeyes. And then final game of the night that we're gonna touch on, probably the latest tipping, kind of good notable game. The 24th ranked Michigan Wolverines head to UCLA, is staying out west, taking on the Bruins, who are 11-3. Michigan also 11-3. Michigan 3-0 in conference. UCLA 2-1. This game also on Peacock, 10 Eastern, 9 Central tip. Michigan, they're led by their duo of two bigs, Vlad Golden, the FAU transfer, followed Dusty May to Michigan here to Ann Arbor, and then Danny Wolf. Those are their two bigs. Golden, their leader in points per game with 13. Wolf, their leading rebounder with 10. Bidu is the leader for UCLA with 14 points per game. And then Michigan, they score 84 to UCLA 76. Or they allow 67 to UCLA's 59. Like I just mentioned, UCLA lost to Nebraska on the road. That's not a cross-country game. I guess that's probably one of UCLA's actually shorter trips here in the Big Ten now. And Michigan, they're staying out west, coming off a good win against USC on Saturday night. So this one, I can go either way. I mean, Michigan or UCLA is projected to win 71-70 to Haslametrics, and then 72-68 on Warren Nolan. And this is definitely one where if Michigan hadn't just stayed in LA, I definitely would have gone with the Bruins. That's a tough time zone change going from East Coast to now West Coast. It'll be like I said, 10 o'clock tip there as opposed to 7 local time for UCLA. But I think Michigan's gonna be adjusted to the time. I think they're gonna be able to pull out a win. So I'm going to take the Wolverines in this one. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning, really going to try to do this every Tuesday. My goal here in 2025, as well as, less gambling, is more consistency because, like I said, I love talking ball. I love interacting with y'all. So make sure to comment your picks down below. Like I said at the beginning of the video, comment if you would like to do some sort of pick 'em. If you want me to, do my gambling picks or just kind of these normal picks, let me know your thoughts on the video. I really appreciate everyone's, support on these. Just watching it, that means a lot to me if you take the time out of your day to watch just me, this random guy who just loves ball, talking ball. But, I'd love to interact with more of you guys. So, like I said, really appreciate the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed. I mean, if you're still here, I got to think you enjoyed the video. Like, come on now. It's been a while. Subscribe to the channel because we're going to try to do this more often. We're trying to grow, get to 50 subscribers and keep going from there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.